of Elon Musk. I really want to thank everybody who takes a look at these live multi-platform streams. And I hope that you get some information that is of benefit to you. I'm Dr. Frank Cadle with the Get Fit and Be Lean program that I used to lose over 20% of my body weight in 2021. I lost more than 5 inches off my waist. I lowered my cholesterol by more than 20 points. I lowered my systolic blood pressure by over 20 millimeters of mercury and my resting heart rate by more than 30 beats a minute. I did all of this without any medications. In fact, I was able to get off my reflux heartburn medication. And I showed pretty much every step of the way on my TikTok account with videos showing the calisthenics that I used as well as the meals that I ate. So if you guys have any questions about the program or how I did it, you can take a look at my videos and make comments, or you can submit those sometimes during the live stream, although I don't always catch those, particularly on TikTok because I'm looking at that down here. But looks like we got a pretty good turnout already. Thank you. Good evening. And so we'll talk a little bit about what this week's live stream is about, which is sleep. Oh, man. It is really unbelievable how many people complain about disordered sleep and what an impact it has in their lives with fatigue. And there are some very simple steps that you can take that are targeted towards sleep hygiene and trying to use the natural processes in your body, the diurnal hormonal fluctuations that we see to augment your ability to go to sleep at night and get up in the morning, sleep through the night with REM sleep that gets you a good feeling of being revived in the morning. So I've posted some tweets to research, and I hope you'll take a look at those. I'm going to talk about those tonight. Caffeine. I'm a caffeine drinker. I have been for many years now. And I can say that it's a stimulant and it will interfere with your sleep cycles. If you're drinking caffeine and you drink a lot of caffeine and it doesn't interfere with your sleep cycles, that's a real strong indication that you are exhausted and you need to get more sleep. So we're going to talk a little bit about how much that is, but caffeine is a stimulant that should be limited to sometime before 12 in the morning, okay? And that gives your body enough time to metabolize it and clear it out of your system so that you're not still stimulated. And this includes sodas, this includes chocolate, of course, energy drinks with their high caffeine boost. And, I'm not trying to demonize things here. I don't do that with food. I'm not going to do it with caffeine. But if you can limit it to before 12 noon, it will have less of an impact on your ability to go to sleep. Next step is to talk a little bit about getting up at a specific time in the morning. And this makes a difference, even if you're a person like me who likes to sleep in on the weekends. If you can get up at the same time of every day, particularly if that day is at a time that allows you to go outside and get the sun up full in your face in the morning. These things really have a strong effect on your pineal gland and your ability to really get started with maximum alertness during the time of day when you're supposed to be maximally alert. And so if you look at some of the research that looks at seasonal affective disorder, one of the things that they'll work with is full spectrum light. And so this stuff does have a direct effect on your neurologic system. Light in particular at night when you go to bed, having lights in the room where you sleep can be pretty detrimental to your ability to sleep. That light is still detected even if your eyes are closed, particularly blue LED type lights and screens. And those things have a negative impact on your sleep. So one of the first things I ask about is caffeine. Next thing I'll ask my patients, do you have a TV in the bedroom? And I know that nobody has TVs anymore. Everybody just is on screens. But the fact is that if you have those screens in the bedroom, it is likely to contribute if you have disordered sleep. Now, I'm not trying to tell everybody how to live. If you sleep fine, then don't do any of this stuff. But if you have disordered sleep, you need to reserve the bed for sleep and sex. And you need to have a ritual that you go through prior to getting into bed to prepare your body for the idea that this is the time we go to sleep. This is where we go to sleep. This is the only thing we do here. And whether it's, brush your teeth or meditate or whatever you want to have as part of your ritual, if you like to check all the doors or take the dog outside, whatever, making that a trigger to your mind and body to help prepare you for sleep. All right, I'm going to try to, we don't have any questions coming in, so that makes it easy. Okay, so alcohol actually really disrupts your sleep schedule. I'm not going to tell you not to drink, but don't try to use alcohol as the way that you get to sleep. That's a really bad idea. And, if you have a couple drinks with dinner or whatever, it's shown to make you live longer if you have a little wine. You want to, once again, give your body a time to metabolize that stuff before you get to sleep. And those are really the basics. Having regular sleep hours, limiting your caffeine, eliminating all those distractions, television. I mean, those people make millions of dollars just keeping you interested. That's their whole goal. The algorithms are designed to keep you scrolling. And so that stuff is going to stimulate your mind. It's going to make it very difficult for you to reach that quietude you need to slip into sleep and to have normal REM cycles. So you can take a look at the article I posted yesterday. It's from a nonprofit organization, and they are very interested in sleep hygiene and how to improve sleep. Now, why do I talk about this in conjunction with the Get Fit and Be Lean program, which is really about fitness and I lost weight and weight control and weight maintenance. The reason that I bring this up is because sleep and obesity are closely intertwined. So much so that if you do these kind of interventions on people's sleep hygiene and you don't do anything with their diet or their exercise, they lose weight when they get better sleep. And that, I think, is about one of the clearest studies that I've seen that really shows why it's so important for everyone to get an adequate amount of sleep. And so the other thing is that if you deprive people of sleep, what they've found is that the caloric intake increases, and it increases during those extended waking hours, and it's not generally the most nutritious of meal type food. It tends to be more snacks, more high sugar, high calorie density stuff. So those two studies in particular really caught my eye when you look at trying to be fit and lean. And of course, exercise is going to help you when it comes to feeling fatigue at night when you're supposed to and when you're supposed to go to bed. So I highly recommend that you do the calisthenics that you've seen me do on the Get Fit and Be Lean program. But if calisthenics aren't for you, any kind of exercise you want, any kind of activity, I say get out, hike, walk, jog, cycle, swim, whatever it takes to get your body moving. Okay. So that's about it for sleep. I didn't really want to spend, an hour on lecturing people about sleep. I've been able to give up my alarm clock because I have a dog that wakes me up now at 5:30 or 6 every morning. So I don't need my alarm clock anymore. Those are really weird things for people to say. Okay. So natural sounds, if you have sounds that help you to focus and kind of just let your mind drift, we use a fan pretty much all the time just because that white noise helps. I actually sleep with earplugs to eliminate any noise. I started doing that a long time ago when I was doing call. And, I'll admit it's a little ironic for me to be a person talking to people about sleep because for much of my life, I have participated in occupations that just require sleep deprivation. I just, was in the Navy where I was doing night call from 12 midnight to 4 a.m. or 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. And I was in residency training where nobody ever slept. And, it took a long time for me to understand how kind of abnormal my sleeping patterns were. And I was down to, routinely 5 hours a night, although I'd kind of crash on the weekends. But the research seems to indicate that everybody does have different requirements that tend to decrease over the years. And I was asked, how much sleep are you supposed to get? Usually 6 to 8 hours is about the normal for most people to feel rested. I am an optimist, and the difference between an optimist and a pessimist. If you ask an optimist, are they an optimist? They will always say, yes, I'm an optimist. But you ask a pessimist if they're a pessimist, and they'll always say, no, I'm a realist. So I hope that answered your question, Booney One. And napping as opposed to full sleep was something I've read about with a lot of what you might call high achievers, the real Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Edison genius types. And I don't think that's what works for most people. And if you find that you're not dozing off and you have, a sharp concentration during the times that you want to, I'm not here to tell people how to sleep if it works for them. But I think that you'll find if you can get a solid 6.5, 7 hours in the wee hours of the night, it does tend to have an impact. I know I've seen a huge impact myself. It's taken a long time. All right, so I'm going to be doing questions and answers all next week, and scheduling the live when I decide if I'm going to do it next weekend or skip a weekend. I think I may do it next weekend and then skip the following week. But I hope everybody has enjoyed the series. I hope you guys are taking a look at my videos. Please take a look at my Twitter account, my tweets. I know some people have abandoned Twitter, but I'm trying to get the article links out there because that's one of the easiest ways to do it. That really makes it so people can, just jump on over and take a look at the literature themselves. I'm going to be stitching some just absurd videos that kind of make me angry because they're just preying on people's despair about obesity, and they don't have anything to do with any kind of science at all. And literally they use cartoons and stuff, but they're selling something, and they're trying to sell stuff to desperate people, and that makes me sad. Thank you very much, Zaft. I appreciate that. And sleep apnea since childhood. I hope you have yourself a CPAP machine. Welcome, Deer Park. Looks like we got a pretty good turnout today on TikTok. I really do appreciate all the likes and the engagement. We'll see how many people watch this video on YouTube. It's always a little bit variable. Don't really get much engagement on my Instagram lives, but I do get a lot of views on my videos there. So I'm going to probably continue to pursue kind of a multi-platform thing. I'm not sure why they canceled my space in TikTok, but in Twitter, but Twitter's such a disaster right now. I'm surprised they didn't make me CEO. Been quite a week, between FTX and the collapse of Bitcoin and Twitter and Elon Musk's, if you look at some of the top billionaires in our country, they've lost the gross domestic product of a couple small continents over the last 6 months. But the election really got a lot of people all stirred up and showed up on my feed in a number of different places. But that I don't generally get into that stuff. I pretty much limit my posts to what I'm talking about, which is the Get Fit and Be Lean program, because I think it's so important. And I think there's been an increase in obesity over the lockdown, the shutdown. And I think there was an increase in obesity before that. And I think that is contributing to an overall decrease in the lifespan of the average American for the first time in the existence of America.